Welcome to another episode of A Beer with Atlas. I'm Rich.
I'm Brian.
And this week, special guest Ryan Turek is with us.
Hello.
Ryan, recruiter here at Atlas, former professional, can I call you? Professional hockey player.
Yep.
And the beer you got, so tell us how we got this beer from Ascension Brewing Company in Novi. Is it Novi?
Novi.
Yeah,
Novi. Michigan. How'd we score this beer?
I went to high school with Brandon Sabo, who is the head brewmaster there, and I knew we had some guys that were really interested in different breweries and the beers that come with them, so I reached out to him, and he was more than happy to, and actually sent us more than we'd expected, and it's been pretty good so far.
Quite a few of them, actually.
Yes.
Some super interesting beers from, in our experience at least.
Yeah, a lot of different styles, and their labels and on their cans have just been amazing.
And that's one of the things that I kind of drew me in the first place as I've gone down this path in craft beer is the labels. And we've talked about that a few times now, how that I will choose a beer simply because of the label.
I feel like this one's perfect for an ex-hockey player because it's very pink and sparkly and
We
candy.
had to get that one.
Yeah,
Totally.
Had to do
just
that one.
right.
All right, so this one is called Millennials Imperial Berliner Weiss style ale brewed with sour candy.
Yeah.
And as you can see,
Delicious.
It looks kind of like some Sour Patch Kids on their
kind of looks like
profile, yeah.
I'm sure they wouldn't admit to that.
No, sour candy, I'm sure is what
Yeah.
it says.
Sour candy. So we'll get into this. Let's open this.
So already, it's kind of a strange thing because Berliner Weisses are usually low ABV. I've never heard of an imperial Berliner Weiss.
7%.
Yeah, usually they're like 3.5%, 4%. So this is already something weird.
Oh, God.
That's
Look at
interesting.
that.
It's got good bubbles,
That's a good
color.
That's a Berliner though, right? I mean,
Yeah. It's an imperial.
it's a little darker generally than
Yeah,
this. I was telling Brian on the way in that this is a good gateway style beer. If you don't necessarily like the beer hoppiness or whatever, this doesn't have that at all. If you maybe like the ciders or things like that, this would be a good, maybe not necessarily this one at the 7%, but the Berliner Weiss style
yeah.
would be a good one for you. So all right, let's give this a shot.
Smells good.
This
and
is a
sour.
first for me.
It smells like candy.
It
Smells
should.
like
It's
A little bit of apple juice.
Yeah, a little apple juicy.
Juice.
Oh, that's sour.
It's sweet and you get that
Cereal.
candy. You get that sweet candy flavor in there.
That does got more sour than I've had in anything.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Alexa wanted to help there for a second. Oh, there she is.
You
Get
can't
ready
help
to help
us.
No.
It's too late, Alexa. Oh, my goodness. She's like shorting out over there.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. That's pretty.
And other physical and mental impairments in people. Health care is delivered by health professionals.
I don't know what's happening.
I hope you're getting this, Dolan,
Physicians
because
and physician associates are a part of these health professionals.
Alexa, go home.
Wow.
Well, thank you
There we go.
for that.
Whatever that was.
That's never happened.
Look, this isn't an award-winning podcast here by any means. We're
No.
not.
We're barely put together.
We're just no Mark Maron here whatsoever. No, not at all. So,
All right, so this is from Novi. This is where the brewery's from, correct?
Yes, correct.
So what do you got about Novi?
All right, so Ascension Brewing Company, 42,000 Grand River Avenue, Novi, Michigan. Open Monday 4 to 10, Tuesday 4 to 11, Friday and Saturday noon to 11, and Sunday 2 to 9. They have food available, and their menu looks amazing. And I wrote down a couple fun ones here. Mr. Piggin's Brewery Nachos.
Yep.
Ooh,
I bet
sounds-
you it's
Yeah.
got pulled pork on there.
Yeah,
Correct.
Yep, I would order it just based on the name. Drunken French Onion Soup. That
Yep.
sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I don't know how. I mean, I'm sure there's beer involved in there somehow.
Yeah, for sure.
They free trivia on Tuesday nights. I couldn't find a whole lot else about who founded it, how it started. There isn't, but they were founded in 2015. So
Pretty new.
Pretty new. So that's probably why there isn't a ton of information out there. Very small. It looks like everything they do is Michigan based. Like all the food they source locally from Michigan. Like they are super proud of where they're from and where they came from. Like a lot of breweries that we've talked about. They're proud of where they are, their state, their heritage, and
they just want to serve those people around there, which is some of my favorite breweries are the ones that are like that way. We just can't go down to the store and buy their stuff.
Yeah, so not a lot of access to this beer outside of Michigan. It seems like so, but again, because they're new, but they can everything.
Yeah.
You'll see, and there's a lot of nice videos on Facebook of them canning stuff. And what's really fun about them is there's a lot of videos on Facebook about them screwing up.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've
funny.
noticed a couple
You
of those.
watch
Yep.
those? Oh, they're hilarious.
I like
that's
that they're
fun.
open.
Yeah.
You know, they just
Yeah.
let you see exactly what goes on. I know they try a lot of different things too, whether that makes it out, but they at least get out and try different things, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So Novi, I couldn't even point to it on a map.
Novi. Here, the first time I heard the term was like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And it was on a podcast, Dax Shepard's podcast that I listened to. 'Cause
One of
he's
them are
that
from.
area.
Yeah, I was going to say one of
Yeah.
them's from there.
He's from there. So he was talking about it. And I always, after he said that, what they were actually talking about was how the town was named. Like he was coming up with some theories on why it was called Novi.
Okay.
Because it's kind of a strange, it's 4 letters, N-O-V-I.
Yeah.
So I did some research online, and we're going to see if the guy that's from that area can get it right.
Oh.
So it's either named after the number 6 toll gate on the Grand River Toll Road, which was in the 1850s.
Okay.
It was named because it's like number 6, right? So N-O-V-I, number 6.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I get it now with
gotcha.
the VI. Okay, gotcha.
N-O-V-I.
So it's either that or it's
Oh.
named due to being the 6th stop on the Hawley, Wayne, and Monroe Railway.
Okay.
Or it was the 6th stagecoach stop outside of Detroit.
Okay.
Or some doctor's wife said, let's call it Novi.
Well, you might as well. I guess it's.
Is there an all of the above?
Is there? Yes.
I'm going to go with C.
That's a good one.
The Michigan,
The from Detroit, yep.
Detroit thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with N-O-V-I, Roman numeral, number 6.
Yeah, it was the doctor's wife.
Oh, my God.
She just wanted to call. It was originally called
I shouldn't.
Farmington Township. That was the original name. And they
Snooze.
were like, this is too long when we write these letters. We just need something shorter. So they went with Novi.
So she just picked it out of the
So
air.
nobody knows why it's called Novi, but Dr. J.C. Emery's wife, is the one suggested that in like 1832.
It's weird. There's a Farmington Hills, too, Michigan.
Oh.
There you go.
Pretty
She was
close
like
to there.
reading the back of like a Brill cream or something like Novi. That's a fun word. to say.
I thought there was going to be a real answer to that one.
Well, it is. It's not satisfactory
Okay.
for me.
Yeah.
So what I did was I did a little research about some folks that are from that area,
Okay.
and I pushed it sports way because I knew who we were going to have with us today.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
but I also kept us in the loop too. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. This is first beer.
Yeah.
This morning, Jessica Chobot.
Yes.
You know
oh,
her?
my goodness.
Jessica Shobot.
Oh, do I know her?
She is an anchor, a news anchor, we'll say.
Uh-huh.
But it's like
we
she's
allowed
on
to
the
Google?
Nerdist.
Yeah, Nerdist News.
Yeah.
Oh, she dyed her hair blonde. Like,
Oh, really?
Like 8 months ago. I couldn't text it to Mark Stock fast enough. I'm like, Jessica Chobot. Oh,
American
man.
host.
Yep.
She is a bigger nerd than all of us combined.
She's like a
Oh, yeah.
entertainment reporter, but it's for like nerdy stuff, like Marvel movies and Star Wars.
She'll
stuff.
talk about Star Wars theory and stuff. I can watch her for hours.
Host of the nerdiest news.
Nerdist.
Yeah, Nerdist. Yeah, I mean you're
Nerdist.
right. It is the nerdiest.
It is the
news.
Nerdist. Yeah.
I mean that
She's
was
from Novi.
yeah, she's from there. Dr. Sanjay Gupta,
Oh yeah.
CNN's medical correspondent. He's also a neurosurgeon.
So I'm not sure on this, and I'm going to find out and let you guys know. When I was a kid, our doctor's name was Gupta, but I think it's his dad. But I'm going to find that out from my parents.
Could be.
I'm not 100% on that. Just an FYI.
That is a fairly common name, though.
I would assume.
Yeah,
but being
I
from
guess
Novi,
same area. Yeah, you're right. Maybe,
So-
maybe.
I listened to him on a podcast. That was where I heard him talking about Novi.
Oh,
And I think from what I remember, he said like he was the only Indian kid like in the whole town. Like at the high school, he was the only one.
That's
And I think maybe like he has a brother and a sister, maybe two, but they're also world famous at something else. Like one of them is like a really famous attorney in New York City, and one of them does something else. So they're like 3 world class kids, which is amazing. And then
man.
this guy lived in Novi, so not from there.
Okay.
But he's got an interesting story, and his name is Ernie Harwell. He is
Oh, yeah.
the voice of the
Tigers,
Tigers.
Yeah.
So I did a little research into him, and when I was reading it, I was like, this is crazy. So I thought I'd bring this up a little bit real quick. He did play-by-play announcing for MLB baseball for 55 years. Wow. 42 of those were with the Tigers. He was born down by Atlanta, so he had a southern accent. And when he was a kid, like 18, I think it was, maybe even younger than that, he started covering baseball, writing for the paper and stuff like that. He worked also for, let's see if I wrote it down. I did. Let's see. He did the Masters on TV.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Early on, and he also did college and pro football games. He was the only announcer, and this is for real, and this blew my mind, who's ever been traded for a baseball player. So in 1948, he was traded for a catcher. So he was working, and the owner of the New York Giants baseball team, I guess traded for him. No, it was the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Okay.
So it was Branch Rickey, the same guy that brought up Jackie Robinson. He didn't like their play-by-play guy, so he traded a catcher to another team and brought him over to be their play-by-play guy.
How do you feel being that catcher?
That's
Probably not very good.
You got traded for a broadcaster.
But here's the thing. Back then, they were like, the broadcaster was the face of the team.
Yeah.
That's
and
true.
like it wasn't like it is everywhere now where everybody
'Cause it was
covers
most-
it. There's
a lot
one
of radio,
guy.
right? More
That's
radio.
all it
than-
Way
was
more,
back then, yeah.
yeah.
Way more
So
radio.
he worked for the New York Giants, the Baltimore Orioles, and then in 1960 he came out to Detroit area, and that's when he moved into Novi.
Okay.
So then he was there from 60 to 1991, and then the team was sold, and the new owner was like, I don't like this guy. I don't want him anywhere around the team. He has too much influence. You're gone. So they fired him.
What?
And he went and like worked part-time for the Angels in 1992. And then he kind of did like little This Week in Baseball, some of the other things that were around back then. Like he would guest a little bit on ESPN once in a while. And then I think it was the next year. Oh, yeah, it was 91. He went to the Angels. 92, this guy named Mike Ilitch bought the Tigers. And he was like, you know what? That guy was dumb. I want you back. Please come back to us. And they brought him back, and he worked there for 10 more years.
Wow.
And he also, this was kind of interesting, he has written and had 66 songs performed or recorded that he wrote. And not all about baseball, but some of them were like real songs. Like
That's
people
a talented
recorded.
fella.
Wow.
And he said that he has had more no-hitters than Nolan Ryan. 'Cause none of his songs are very good, which I thought was a pretty good line. And his home run call is "That One Is Long Gone." That's his like signature call. So that's what I found out about that dude. I thought that was interesting. For Mr. Seitner, Damian Woody from the Jets. He's from this area.
Yep.
And then I found, and this is where we're going to need Mr. Ryan's help here.
Okay.
A lot of hockey players. And for some reason, they're calling it like Switzerland or something. There's like the Switzerland of Michigan or something. Nicholas Lindstrom,
Yep. He was a captain of the Red Wings for a while.
Johan Franzen,
Same.
Jonathan Eriksson,
Same.
Nicholas Cronwell,
Still playing.
Tomas Holstrom. Those were some of the
Retired.
names I found.
I think a lot of them live in Bloomfield Hills, which is right there too, and it's just where all the professional athletes I think live in that area. So yeah,
That's what some of the
two
stuff
of them
I
are
could
Hall of
find.
Famers.
Lindstrom, I've heard of him.
He just retired a couple years ago.
Yeah.
His number's retired, I believe. Thomas Holmstrom won like 4 Stanley Cups
I mean, that's
with
pretty
Detroit.
good.
Yeah.
Well, Ernie sounds like the kind of Harry Carey of the
He's
the
a-
Tigers, maybe.
He was like the
Right?
second or third guy to get into the Hall of Fame as a broadcaster, and he was for a long time the face of the Tigers, and he
That's the name my dad brings up the most is him when
Yeah.
talking about baseball back in the day
Yeah.
at Old Tiger Stadium and stuff.
and he called the World Series like in the 80s, 84, 85, whatever that was. He was like the local person that didn't do the national broadcasting. He did the local stuff, and then when he died, his wife, they had like a endowment fund. So there's there's maybe Fort something University. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's a university close to there, and the whole baseball stadium complex is named after him. Like it gave a bunch of money to this university so kids could play baseball. So
Interesting.
he was a lifer. He wrote like 4 or 5 books all about baseball.
I like this guy.
Yeah.
Sounds
You
good.
guys
You've
are
got to
right up there,
love
Ellie.
baseball to be doing it. So, I mean,
For
from
that many years?
12,
For that
basically,
many
12
years.
years old to 90.
Yeah. So he's Jack Buck and Harry Carey all rolled
I mean,
into
he was
one,
he
right?
was during that time too when
Yeah.
broadcasters were like the kings
Yeah.
of the like
You were right. They had a bigger influence than they do now, for
way
sure.
for sure.
Who was Jack Brickhouse? Remember Jack Brickhouse?
No.
That was before Harry Carey. It was Jack Brickhouse.
No,
from
I'm
the
not that
Cubs.
old.
Did you ever hear his call of Ernie Banks' number 500 home run? He goes, hey, that's
him.
his. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So Harwell did the shot heard around the world.
Oh,
When he was in New York.
Yes.
That was his call.
Wow.
Which is famous baseball.
That's a big
cool.
one, yeah.
That is super cool.
So what do we think about this beer, fellas?
I could drink this beer all day long.
I'm pretty sure I could too.
I'm sad that there's only one of them.
Like summertime.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's a little sour at first, but then it mellows out so much, and it's just nice and sweet, and
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
glad you said that. It's a great segue.
there you
here.
go.
Sour Patch Kids. You know what
Yep.
their slogan is?
First or sweet.
Sour, sweet, gone.
That's
That's
exactly,
exactly
what
the flavor in this
that
beer.
is that
happened to
beer.
the
Right?
beer. Yeah.
So I did some research on this, and they were created in the late 60s. In France, they're called the Very Bad Kids. So that's what their name is there. But they
So
were
that's what's on there, not
Yeah.
Sour Patch.
Right.
no,
the very bad
The
kids.
very bad kids.
40 grams of these is one serving of Sour Patch Kids, and you get a whole 150 calories, which is like a beer.
That's like 4 Sour Patch Kids, probably. It's not even, maybe.
They were formed in the late 60s, and they were originally called the Mars Men to cash in on the space race and all that sort of stuff. Mars was a big thing.
Sure.
So they were candy, and they were the Mars Men all the way up until 1985. And then they got their new name. And do you know why?
Why?
What was happening in the 80s with
don't know.
Patch Kids?
I was born in '80s.
Oh, yeah.
Cabbage Patch Kids.
Cabbage, yeah.
So they were like, you know what? This is a hot deal. Why don't we call them Sour Patch
Sour
Kids?
Patch Kids.
So-
So you're telling me Sour Patch Kids have been around since the mid 80s?
Well, in that name, yes, 85. But before that, since the late 60s. 50
Which is-
years.
That blows my mind. I would have guessed late 90s.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Nope. Isn't that weird?
That's weird.
There are 38 different flavors or products that are under the Sour Patch Kids label, including special flavors for Halloween, Christmas, and Easter. They do jelly beans. And they also make popsicles for the summertime.
Ooh, that could be pretty good.
that could be good.
And then there's all sorts of different, like any sort of fruit flavor combination, they make it. But I don't know where you're buying them because most
I've
of the time
only-
I see them, it's in a bag or like the movie theater box. You know?
There's
Yeah.
4 flavors.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
3 maybe. Green,
Right.
red, yellow.
Yeah.
Yellow,
I mean, they distinct
blue.
are like tropical fruit, and then there's like very berry, and then they have like on the internet I was like, oh, whoa, that's a lot. So I counted them up, 38 different things.
Jeez.
This is where it gets weird. Are you guys ready for this?
Yes.
I'm guessing Dolan might have done this
Oh,
because he's
probably.
a little younger than us. 2011,
Okay.
big year for the Sour Patch Kids, and here's why.
Okay.
They had a video game that came out, and it was called World Gone Sour. This was playable on PlayStation and Xbox. You could get it through the stores, like buy it and
Yeah.
online, download it. I think they actually did make physical copies of it.
Yeah.
Because before that wasn't a whole lot of streaming back then yet. So here's the story, because this sounds like. I mean, there's a lot of video games, right?
Yeah.
There's not any like this. There's a kid going to the movies, and he's got Sour Patch Kids, and there's a rip in the bag, and the green one falls out, and he's pissed because his goal is to get eaten. They want to be eaten. They need to be eaten. They want to be eaten, and if they don't, they get upset about it.
Okay.
So the whole game is basically you, as the green guy, meet all these other like lost Sour Patch Kids. Like there's one in the couch cushion, there's one on the floor.
Can we find this game somewhere?
I looked it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the gameplay looks terrible. Looks like we could make it on our iPhone right now and be better.
Sure.
But you basically find these other ones, and you have to like prove your worth that you want to get eaten. So you torture the other ones. You like throw them. There, I saw one footage. They threw them through a candle and like lit them on fire.
Oh,
and then there was
man.
like had a circular saw, and they were like cutting them in half. And this is a candy
Okay.
video game. So and so they meet some other ones.
And this was 2011?
Yeah, and
God.
some of them don't want to be eaten,
Okay.
and they've lost that goal. And
Yeah.
those have gone sour.
Oh.
So they're like
they the bad
anti Sour
ones?
Patch Kids. Yeah. So in this universe, IG whatever. Oh my goodness.
I would have never guessed they had a game.
So the critics, as there are many anywhere on the internet now,
Yes.
they said, hey, the gameplay's fun. The humor's pretty grim. It had really funny cutscenes. But it's basically a glorified violent commercial.
Okay.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
it might
all
be
I
worth
need.
a try.
I don't
if
see
you
what's
could-
wrong with that, actually. I think
Cutting Sour Patch Kids up
Yeah.
and torturing them. I mean, it's all right.
Look,
We should try it.
It gets weirder.
Can we get that game?
all right.
Are you ready?
Oh, wait,
Yes.
we're going in.
So the same time, the one and only Method Man creates a music video.
Okay.
And it's also called World Gone Sour because it's a tie-in to the video game.
Oh my gosh.
And he has a whole video. I watched it on YouTube yesterday of him. He's sitting there in his living room. It's obviously not his. It doesn't look very fancy.
boy.
And his friend opens a bag up, rips it open, and they all shoot out all over.
Okay.
And Method Man's like, dude, get it on lock. Now
Yeah.
we're in trouble.
Yes.
And they come to CGI Life, and they're doing all this stuff, and then Method Man stands up on his coffee table and starts rapping, and it's so terrible. It's like the ultimate product. It's like Wayne's World when they're talking about how they would never take money for product placement,
Yes.
and they're doing all the products. It's
Yes.
basically that, but in a rap version.
And he's rapping about Sour Patch Kids.
Sour Patch Kids and all the stuff that you could do, or all the bad things that can happen if you don't eat Sour Patch Kids.
Okay, what company owns Sour Patch Kids? Did you find that out?
Well,
Is
it was different. It's kind of like when we did some of that chocolate stuff. Like in England, it was Cadbury owns them.
Yep.
And in the United States, it was a different company. It's traded hands a couple different times. But yeah, that's what I could find about Sour Patch Kids.
that is super
So when we're
weird.
done with this,
Video game.
You gotta look at the video game, but you've got to watch
I'm going to watch the Method Man
the
video.
Method Man video because you're like, this guy was a legit like rapper. People were scared of him.
Oh, yeah.
And now he's rapping
He
about
was a gangster.
rapping about Sour Patch Kids.
I
Candy.
guess when you need money, you need money. I guess. I don't
did-
know.
I don't even know
I mean,
if he
did he-
needed the money.
I was-
Maybe he just
yeah,
loves.
at that point.
I think
Didn't-
isn't he kind of a nerd guy?
Well,
maybe he was
maybe.
into video games. I don't know.
Maybe. And maybe he really likes
He was
Sour
doing
Patch
movies
Kids.
at that time.
I
wasn't
know he likes comic books.
Oh.
I know, like he has a huge comic book collection.
Oh, I didn't know
I know
this.
that. Yeah,
No,
he's
I
like
didn't know.
way into it.
Oh, I need to look him up then.
But this, yeah, it was. I was just like, wow. I
The video game was interesting.
in the comments on the YouTube
Best
video
game
for Method
ever.
Man, so good,
Oh, I bet that's just gold.
so good.
Internet gold.
Some people were like, "This is so dope. I'll even let it happen because it's Method Man," and other people were like, "Why?
Get
No."
outta
Yeah,
here.
it was so good.
That's fantastic.
That's good.
All right. So, Ryan Turek, tell me about your experiences in Novi.
Yeah, Novi.
I have a good one, but I'm not going to tell it. I'm actually from Northville, so they are our rival,
Oh.
kind of, in high school.
Yeah.
No, I didn't play any high school sports.
What's your story?
there.
You can tell your story. You know.
Of getting an MIP?
Well, sure.
I
Why
mean,
not?
it's a beer podcast.
Well, we're drinking.
that's true.
We're drinking beer. Please don't drink and drive.
No, it wasn't none of that. I didn't even have a car there, actually.
Oh, okay. Underage drinking is,
Some people
is a great story.
Some people wanted to come over, and we didn't allow them, and it was just 5 of us.
Mm-hmm.
So they called the cops, and
They narc your
but if I
party.
was in Northville, I would have just got like a slap on the wrist.
Oh.
But Novi was like the Sarpy County kind of.
Oh.
And so I had to go through probation and all that stuff. And I was at Michigan State at the time playing hockey, so I tried to keep that away from them. And
Yep.
it was all sorts of things. But that's my one big thing in Novi. Other than that, I was in Northville most of the time,
I
which
got
is
it.
just right next door.
We'll talk about this, or we talked about this when we did Dad Beers a couple weeks back. When I got an MIP when I was
Yeah.
younger too. Yeah, we were
It
stupid.
seems to be a more common thing than you think, but
It was dumb.
yeah,
we
it
were
was
dumb.
really dumb.
I had to clean up a park, and that was about it. So
Well, see, so you got a slap on the wrist. I
Yeah.
mean, I had drug tests and piss test every week, and I had to drive back. And,
well, you were playing hockey though at the
but
time.
yeah,
right?
and I was, so I'd have to leave early in the morning to go do that, and
Yeah.
I'd have to drive back to Novi to do that, and I was about an hour and a half away.
Mm.
It was a rough one. It was really rough. My dad and mom probably loved that part.
Oh yeah.
That it cost them like $5,000. For just-
Wow.
Yeah.
for a beer.
Just
And I blew .09. I was 20 years old and blew .09.
what?
Yeah, it was like
Yes.
7:30 in the at night. Like, it wasn't even late or anything. It was a
you-
bad deal.
If you
A
just
bad
let him
deal.
come over, then you wouldn't. It,
It
would've
wasn't
been
my
fine.
decision, and the buddy I was with had a lot of problems.
Oh,
It sounds
So it
like
was
they
like
weren't
a-
worth having over anyway.
maybe.
They're gonna
I mean, it.
call the cops.
You never know with hockey guys.
And then
though.
hold on though, after we get arrested, the house, they went in there and stole like 2 laptops and like an iPhone speaker and stuff. So then it turned into a whole nother deal, and it was bad. But they ended up having to pay a bunch of money back to the kid that got it stolen. Yeah, it was interesting.
That's a good story.
Man, cops in Michigan.
And you would have thought we like killed people. I mean, they had a truck, 14 cop cars.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in 3 different cop cars by the time.
They put you in the back of the wagon and stuff? Really? Handcuffs behind your back?
I was texting people like this, telling them I got arrested and trying to figure out my bail. And it was interesting.
Wow.
The life of a hockey player.
I guess.
Oh, man.
It wasn't anything exciting. There was like 5 people at the party. I mean, it wasn't even a party.
Were there any chicks there?
No.
Yeah,
that was exactly.
so
I mean, we were
lame.
just hanging out, not planning anything big.
So lame.
That's what I said.
Nearly
Then
as
I
cool
got
as I thought.
correct.
I
I
might
got
have
arrested.
kept
out
that
of it.
story in my pocket. Then.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I tried, gentlemen. You told me to tell my story.
So you made it as far as, and this we'll dig into your Michigan roots a little bit. You played hockey all the way up through into college.
Yep.
For Michigan State.
Yep.
Won a national title there.
I
Is
did
that
my
right?
freshman year. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got drafted.
I was drafted before I was in college. So
Okay.
yeah, I got drafted. I played for the Omaha Lancers here. I got drafted my second year there, and then went to Michigan State for 2.5 years.
Gotcha. And then went and played some minor league hockey, right?
Yeah, I played a little bit of AAA, which would be considered AAA baseball, and then I was in AA for most of my time. I played for 7 years.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
then injuries got you?
Yeah, I had ACL surgery before I went to college, and then I just kept having problems with it. They said I had a hole underneath my kneecap that's from arthritis, and it just never got better, and I wasn't going to make it to the NHL, so I kind of just, it was time to do a 9 to 5 or find something that was worth it.
There you go. So he found us and became a recruiter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been great.
Huh. Interesting.
Wish I had a failed sports story that led me here.
Me
I
too.
don't have that. Failed office jobs. Ooh,
I had a
that's
lot
boring.
of those. Yeah. One time when I was playing Pee-wee ball, I was late and I hit a double over the third baseman's head. My best friend was pitching. He didn't talk to me for a week. That's the best story I got right there.
At least you got the double.
I got a double, right?
Yeah.
I fought my best friend multiple times.
In hockey? Mm-hmm. Oh, no way.
Yep.
Like actual punching in the face? Sweet. That's what's sweet about hockey that I think baseball kind of, you don't need that sometimes, right?
You know what? Whenever it happens now with baseball, it's just a bunch of crap.
It's just a bunch of
They
shoving.
run out
and-
there. It's like who can get out to the mound first and then push a little bit. No one's, and if they do throw a punch, it's so wild and it is not connecting.
Just the crazy.
The only one I've ever seen was when the Dodgers guy got punched at second base or whatever. He's a big name. Maybe he's not Dodgers.
Oh,
yeah,
Matt
that was
Kemp.
good. That was good.
Yeah, when
Straight right to the. No,
When,
it wasn't. No, it was the guy from Toronto. Who was the big hitter for Toronto? Oh,
Batista.
yeah. Didn't he got punched by
Remember
a short
Odor?
little dude?
It was Odor, the second
Yeah,
baseman.
And that was the first one
Odor.
I'd ever seen connected.
nothing will beat
You're gonna say Nolan Ryan.
Nolan
Ventura.
Ryan
Yeah,
just
I knew it.
going to town on Robin Ventura.
One of the worst ones is Bryce Harper going at the mound and throwing his
Yes.
hat and then swinging and
Winging
one,
it,
yeah,
yes.
didn't even come close.
Didn't even come close. No,
They're just-
but in
yeah.
hockey, like that's legit. Like when you get
Yeah.
those, you got one hand grabbing the jersey and the other hand just wailing as hard
Yep.
as you can. That's
They look most of the time look worse than they are.
Eh.
But there are the ones that guys just, I don't know how you just take a beating every day. That's what you go out there and do. It's like, what? You guys are on a different.
The rule is like if you fall down, then the fight's over, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It used to not be that way. But
Oh.
they're changing it. I mean, you used to just, guys would pick them back up and start swinging again.
I'm not done with you.
Yeah. So there was no way of getting out of it. Now they have a lot of things. A fighting strap, so you can't get your jersey over your head, which if you got that over your head,
were
you
done,
can't.
right?
Yeah, you can't see anything, and you are go to the ground and just turtle.
No, they have a strap on their jersey.
Yeah, on the back.
What? And it like hooks in your pants or something?
You have a loop on the back of your pants, like a belt loop.
Yeah.
And it's a big strap, and
Yeah.
it got two snaps on it, and it velcros, so it's not supposed to come
So
off.
it's not pulling out.
But guys
It's
will
pulling
just
through.
loop it,
Yeah.
and then as long as if it comes off during the fight or breaks or something, or they'll cut it, and then
Mm-hmm.
you're good to go.
Do you get the jersey over the head? Do you ever get the jersey over the head?
I've had it happen to me.
Okay.
I've never really. I didn't go. Well, when I played, we had the fighting strap all the time, so it
Okay.
wasn't as. But I've had it happen actually because I didn't have mine on. Yep.
Whoops.
Yep.
Brian and I have no stories
It's
like,
like
this at all.
It's just like the time you didn't wear your cup and then you needed it.
Yes.
It's like that.
Done that too.
Yeah. It's not good.
Yeah. I tell you, these guys, we need to either go visit this brewery.
Absolutely.
Where would you fly into? Would you fly into
Right in Detroit.
To
It's
Detroit?
about 25 minutes, not even that far.
Oh.
It's really easy to get to and get all interstate. I mean, it's really easy to get to.
Every beer that we've had from these guys so far has been on point.
Yep. And it's
Really,
been a lot
really
of
good.
sours and IPAs, which
Yep.
is your favorites.
It's totally my favorite. All right, so I looked them up on the Untapped. 600 ratings for this
Oh,
beer.
that's low.
What do you think is the average?
Man.
And that's
I'm-
through 5?
Through 1 through 5. Yeah.
Five.
I'll
For
give
this
you
beer?
I'll give you a hint. It's
Yeah.
real close to what I would rank it.
Oh, okay.
4.4.
I'm going to go 4.04.
It's 4.16.
Okay.
So I'd go 4.25 on this. This is a pretty solid beer.
Yeah, I
I
enjoyed
like it.
it.
It's got good taste and
I
everything.
don't think I have ever had an Imperial Berliner Weiss. That's a
No.
new category I didn't even know was a thing.
That's a first for me, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It'd be nice if you were sitting on a patio or something. and-
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
On
really
a,
good.
on a boat anywhere, I guess.
That'd be sweet. Yeah.
Next time I would get some Sour Patch Kids or Naughty Kids or
some
whatever.
Naughty Kids.
And I'd throw them in my glass and then put the beer in there.
We need to go to the candy store down the street over here and see if we can get us some Naughty Kids.
Yeah.
Can you get those from France for us? Maybe.
Very bad kids.
Very bad kids, that's what
Naughty
they call
Kids
them.
is a little different
Very bad kids.
intonation. Yeah.
That was Dolan's other nickname in college. You don't want to hang out with him. He's with the very bad kids.
That's
Attaboy,
right.
Dolan.
Good work. All right, Mr. Turek, thank you for
Yeah,
Thanks for
the
having me,
beer.
guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So, and thank you to Ascension Brewing Company for supplying some beers to us. Hopefully, they enjoyed the beers we sent back.
Yeah.
To them. That,
Like I said, I haven't heard he's out of the country right now, so
must be nice.
when he, that's what I said. When he gets back,
Yeah,
we'll get some more.
I'm sure we'll trade with him again.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
all right, we'll see you next week.